Evolution robot arm installation instructions.
Always turn the controller power off before servicing the machine.
Support the end of the robot arm with one hand while pulling the vacuum pump down to expose the vacuum pump cable. Locate the threaded ring at the top of the vacuum pump and unscrew it so that the vacuum pump can be removed. Put the vacuum pump in a safe place. The product delivery bin will work fine. Locate the gray plastic robot arm mounting bracket cover. Remove the two cover retainer screws with a Phillips screwdriver, and then remove the cover. The vending machine controller board is located on the upper left-hand corner of the back side of the front door. Before beginning, it is always a good idea to use your cell phone to take a few pictures of the board, harnessing, and robot to make the assembly process a little easier. Lift the clear plastic rain guard and disconnect the 4 connectors leading from the robot arm. Unplug the 3-pin connector for the vacuum pump at position J4, squeeze the release and remove the connector. Unplug the connectors at the positions J5, J6, J7 on the bottom of the board.
Fastcorp has designed a simple-to-install cable guard that is available at no charge to all Evolution machine operators. The first design is a bit longer than the guard used today, but both work well. Its purpose is to prevent harness damage in the transition area between the door and the cabinet. Cable ties are used to hold the robot harness in place. Carefully cut the cable ties using a pair of cutter pliers. Make note of the position of each cable tie. It's important that the harness is reinstalled the way it was originally. The robot arm harnesses are routed through 2 black plastic wire channels located on the top of the right cabinet wall and on the rear cabinet wall to the right of the robot arm mount. To open the wire channels, use your thumb to push up on the bottom of the channel while also pulling out on the top of the channel. The channel should unlatch on top while hinging on the bottom. Remove the harnessing from the wire channels. The shaft of the robot arm is clamped into a mount located on the back of the cabinet wall. The mounting shaft is held in place by 4 screws. Depending on the hardware on your machine, you would need to use either a number 2 Phillips screwdriver or a 5/16 inch socket wrench to loosen the 4 screws. Do not remove the screws, but loosen them to the point where you can just feel the tip protruding through the mounting bracket. Use one hand to support the robot arm while pulling out on the tab of the hinged robot arm clamp. When the clamp has been pulled out, the robot arm shaft will drop down and out the bottom of the mount. The robot arm may now be removed from the machine. The robot arm assembly weighs approximately 15 pounds, so be careful not to drop it. Remove the replacement robot arm from the packaging and carefully unspool the harness. The robot arm mounting shaft is pointed on one side and has a horizontal notch on the other. The pointed side of the mounting shaft should face the rear cabinet wall as the shaft is installed back into the mount. As you slide the shaft up into the mount, you should hear an audible click as the notch reaches the clamp on the bracket. Support the robot arm until the 4 retaining screws are tight. Place the harness into the wire channel as flat as possible. The spiral wire wrap should extend slightly into the channel. Push up on the bottom edge of the wire channel as you push it in on the top. As you slide your fingers along the channel will close and lock. Repeat the procedure with the other wire channel. Be careful that the wires are completely inside the channels and that none have been pinched. Replace the cable ties so that the robot arm harness is routed next to the lid lift harness as it was before. Make sure that the harnesses are positioned so that they are clear of the inner and outer doors as the doors are opened and closed. Reinstall the cable guard. Cable ties are used to hold the robot harness in place. Carefully cut the cable ties using a pair of cutter pliers. It's important that the harness is reinstalled the way it was originally. Plug the 4 connectors back into the VMC board. Be careful not to bend any pins as you plug in the connectors. Replace the gray robot arm mount cover using the 2 Phillips screws. Support the end of the robot arm while you pull the vacuum pump cable down until you have access to the threaded ring. Reinstall the vacuum pump, aligning the spline in the pump with the spline in the lock ring. Hand tighten the ring only. Do not use tools of any kind to tighten the ring. Turn on the machine using the power switch on the left side of the power supply. Position the display board so that it may be viewed from the back of the door. Press the VAC button to unlock the keypad. Press the up button on the service keypad to reel the vacuum pump back into the robot. The new robot arm must be calibrated to the vending machine controller board. The first step is to erase the existing calibration. Press the star key to scroll to Service Menu Option 4, Create Selection. Press and hold the reset button. The VMC board will beep continuously. The display will first read, "This forces resetup," and when the display changes to "Arm uncalibrated," immediately release the reset button. If you continue to hold the reset button past this point, the display will change to "Products cleared," and you will have erased all product selections and programming. Press the pound key to continue. The display will instruct you to put arm at left wall. Fold the robot arm so that the upper arm is against the back cabinet wall and the front of the robot arm is against the left side cabinet wall. Press the pound key to accept this location. The display will instruct you to set arm at delivery. Move the arm so that it is straight out from the back wall with the vacuum pump housing in the front center position. Press the pound key to accept the location. The installation and calibration process is complete. Your selections should still be programmed correctly. We recommend that you advance to Service Menu Option 22, Verify All Bins, to double check the accuracy of your bin locations.